I still can't believe you actually talked to her, Ryan laughed, shaking his head as we sat in the back booth of the diner. You, the guy who once hid in the library to avoid ordering coffee because you were scared of the barista? Shh up, I said, but I couldn't stop smiling. It wasn't that big of a deal. She dropped her book. I picked it up. We started talking. That's it. That's it. He leaned forward. That's how people in movies meet. You don't get that lucky in real life. I thought about Emily's smile, the way it made everything else fade. She's different, Ryan. I don't know how else to explain it. Ryan raised his brow. Different how? She listens. She looks at me like I'm more than just another guy struggling to pay bills. She makes me believe I can actually build something worth keeping. Or she makes you delusional. He softened his tone. Man, I just don't want to see you lose yourself. You're already pulling doubles at the warehouse. Now you're tutoring on weekends too, because I want her to have more. I said quietly, I want us to have more. One day, we'll have a house. Not just a house, a mansion. Big windows, wide porch, a kitchen big enough for her to dance in while she cooks. She deserves that. Ryan sighed. You deserve to sleep. Or maybe a life that isn't built around someone else's happiness. She's not just someone else. She's the one. That night, when I walked Emily home, she slipped her arm through mine. You work too much, she said softly. I work for you, I teased. Don't you want me to build you the mansion I promised? She stopped under the streetlight, her eyes shining. I don't care about a mansion. I just want you. The rest will come. I believed her. God, I believed every word. At Sunday dinner, my mom frowned when she saw the dark circles under my eyes. Honey, you're running yourself into the ground. I'm fine, I said, stabbing at the potatoes. You're not fine, Dad added. 2 jobs, barely home. What's all this for? Before I could answer, Emily squeezed my hand under. The table for us, she said. 'Cause he wants to give us a future. Mom's lips pressed tight. A future doesn't mean much if you destroy yourself getting there. Mom, I said firmly, I know what I'm doing. I've never been more certain about anything. Ryan, sitting beside me, muttered, That's what scares me. Weeks blurred into months. Work, exhaustion, Emily's smile. It was enough to keep me going. I lived off coffee and the thought of her waiting at the end of every shift. One night, I walked her to the park after dinner. She curled against me on the bench, shivering in the cool air. Do you ever regret it? She asked. Suddenly, regret what? All the hours you spend working, the life you give up. I kissed her hair. No, because every hour is an hour closer to our future, to that mansion, to you. Her eyes glistened. You're crazy. Crazy in love with you, I said, laughing. The night I decided to propose, my hands shook so badly, I almost dropped the ring box. Ryan paced my apartment. Are you sure? He asked. Marriage is huge. You've only known her, what, a year? I've known her enough, I said. When you know, you know. Or you think you know. He rubbed his face. Man, don't do this just because you're afraid to lose her. I'm doing this because I can't imagine life without. Ryan stared at me like I was walking into fire, but he finally clapped my shoulder. Then God help you. I hope she's worth it. At the restaurant, I could barely hear over the pounding of my heart. Emily looked at me across the table, her hair glowing in the candlelight. What's wrong? She asked. Nothing, I whispered, fumbling with the box in my pocket. When I dropped to one knee, her gasp filled the room. Emily, I said, voice breaking, you're my everything. I want forever with you. Will you marry me? Her eyes flooded with tears. Yes, she whispered, pulling me up into her arms. And in that moment, I believed my future was secure. Sorry, I can't tonight, Emily said, sliding her phone into her purse without meeting my eyes. That's the 3rd time this week. I replied, You're always busy? Work? Yeah, work. Meetings run late, you wouldn't understand. The way she said it stung. Try me. Her lips tightened. It's just grown-up things. You're exhausted from your shifts anyway. Don't make this a big deal. Laughed, though it sounded hollow. It feels like a big deal when the woman I love barely has time for me. Emily finally looked up. Her eyes were distant, cold. You're overreacting. At dinner the next evening, the tension only grew. This place again, she said, glancing at the modest Italian restaurant where I'd made reservations. What's wrong with it? You loved it when we first came here? Her fork clinked against the plate.
Because
It was new. But don't you ever get tired of scraping by? Don't you want more? I do want more, I said quickly. That's why I'm working so hard for us. Emily leaned back, folding her arms. Other men already have it. They don't talk. About someday, they live it now. The words cut deep. So I'm not enough because I'm not them. Her voice lowered, sharp. I didn't say that. Maybe I need someone who dreams bigger. I sat in silence, appetite gone, wondering when love had turned into comparison. Later that week, my sister Lily stopped by. She noticed the tension instantly. You two okay? She asked when Emily left the room. We're fine, I insisted, though my voice cracked. Lily studied me. No, you're not. She talks to you like you're a project she's already disappointed in. She's stressed, I said quickly. Work, pressure, it's not about me. Don't lie to yourself. Lily touched my arm. Love isn't supposed to feel like you're failing every second. She doesn't mean it, I muttered. You don't know her like I do. Lily shook her head. I know how she makes you look at the floor every time she opens her mouth. Her words lingered long after she left. That night, I confronted Emily gently. Emily, do you even want this? Us? She sighed, tossing her phone on the couch. Why are you always so dramatic? 'Cause I feel like I'm losing you. She paced the room. You think love is enough? It's not. Love doesn't pay bills. Love doesn't build a future. You don't get it. I clenched my fists. Killing myself at work for you. Isn't that proof? Her eyes hardened. Proof of what? That you'll break your back and still come up short? Maybe I need more than love to survive. The silence that followed was heavier than any scream. I sat alone after she went to bed, staring at the walls. Her words replayed again and again. Maybe I need more than love. Wasn't love the whole point? Wasn't it what we promised? Doubts dug their claws in. Maybe Ryan was right. Maybe Lily saw more clearly than I did, but I convinced myself it was stress, that she'd come around. We'd get through this. Even as the first seed of betrayal was planted, I told myself love would be enough to water it into something better. I pushed open the cafe door and froze. Emily's laugh carried through the air, sharp and cruel, as if it were meant to slice right into me.
Ow.
My eyes followed the sound, and there she was sitting across from Daniel, his gold watch gleaming. In the low light, his hand casually resting over hers. Emily. My voice cracked as her eyes met mine. She didn't flinch. She didn't even look guilty. Oh, you're here, Daniel smirked, leaning back. This must be him. I clenched. My fists. What the hell is this? Emily's lips curled into something between pity and annoyance. This is me being honest. I can't do this anymore. Do what? I asked, though the answer already burned in my chest. She sighed, shaking her head. Live like I'm waiting for you to catch up. You're a good man, but good doesn't. Pay for a future. Daniel offers stability, real stability. Daniel chuckled. A mansion, not an apartment with peeling paint. My heart twisted. So this is about money? Emily's eyes hardened. It's about everything. You dream too big, but dreams don't buy cars or vacations. I'm tired of struggling. I want more. You want more than me? I whispered. Exactly, she stood, her chair scraping the floor. I need a man who already has what I want, not one still chasing it. I laughed bitterly, though it sounded more like a sob. All the promises, the plans, the nights we stayed up building a life together, none of it mattered. Her silence was louder than any answer. Daniel draped, his arm around her shoulder, as if he had already won. You should go, kid. She's made her choice. Don't call me kid, I snapped. My voice trembled, but I didn't back down. Emily looked at me one last time, her expression flat. Goodbye. The word crushed me more than any shout or slap could. She turned away, walking out with him, and I felt the air leave my lungs. My knees almost gave out, but I forced myself outside, rain hitting my face like punishment. Ryan found me hours later, slumped on his couch with an empty glass in my hand. "Man, what happened?" he asked, pulling the glass away. "She's gone," I muttered. "Emily's gone." She didn't even hesitate. Ryan frowned. "Gone where?" "With him, Daniel. Some rich guy with everything I don't have." Ryan swore under his breath. "And she told you this? She didn't beg?" "Yes." "Didn't cry?" "She just looked me in the eyes and said she wanted a man with a mansion, not a dreamer with a paycheck." My throat tightened. Like I was nothing, like years of us meant nothing. Ryan sat beside me, gripping my shoulder. "Listen, I know. It feels like the end, but it's not. You're better than this. It's better than her." I shook my head. "Am I?" She made me believe I was enough. Now I can't even look in the mirror without seeing failure. "Oh, you're not a failure," Ryan said firmly. "You've got talent, ideas, hell, more ambition than anyone I know. She just couldn't see it. That's on her." "Get what she's..." "Right?" I whispered. "Dreams don't keep the lights on. I'm nothing compared to him." Ryan's voice softened. "Then prove her wrong." "Not for her, for you." I closed my eyes, my chest heavy with rage and shame. "She'll never regret it." She looked at me like I was disposable. "One day," Ryan said, "she realized she lost the only man who truly cared. But by then, you'll be out of reach." Silence hung between us. The storm outside rattled the windows, echoing the storm in my chest. I thought of Emily's cold eyes, Daniel's smug grin, and the hollow space inside me where love had once lived. "I'll build it," I whispered. "Build what?" Ryan asked. "Everything she wanted, the money, the success, the mansion." I opened my eyes, my voice steady now. "But she'll never stand beside me again." Ryan studied me, worry flashing in his eyes, but he didn't argue. He just nodded slowly. I leaned back, whispering the vow like a curse meant only for myself. She chose him, should choke on that choice. And as the storm raged on, I knew my world had shattered, but from its ruins something new would rise. I stared at my desk one last time, the stack of reports, the framed photo I hadn't yet thrown away. My manager raised an eyebrow. "You're serious about quitting?" he asked. "Yes," I said, sliding the resignation across. "I can't stay here." He leaned back, smirking. "People would kill for stability, and you're walking away?" "For what? A chance," I replied, my chest tight. "I'd rather fail chasing something real than rot here." He shrugged. "Your funeral?" Walking out felt like stepping off a cliff. The next day I signed the papers for a loan, my hand shaking. "Are you sure you want this?" the loan officer asked. "Yes," I forced out. "I don't have another choice." With that borrowed money, I registered my company. One truck, a few tools, and my name on a flimsy banner, my empire in ashes. Ryan dropped by my garage-turned office. "So this is it?" he asked, scanning the mess. "Yeah," I said, trying to sound confident. "This is where it starts." He laughed. "You've lost it. But damn, I'm proud." Lily came by that night, dropping a box of old calculators. "On my table, if you're serious, you'll need books. I'll help." I looked at her, surprised. "Why?" "Because I've seen people waste chances. You're not wasting this one," she said firmly. The first project came quick, renovating a shop's floor. I promised quality, speed, professionalism. 2 days in, the tiles cracked, the client cursed, and I refunded half. Man, that was brutal. Ryan said as we loaded the broken tiles. "Failure," I muttered, sweat stinging my eyes. "No," Ryan corrected. "Lesson. Big difference." The second project, a small deck, collapsed in the rain before inspection. My phone buzzed with the client's furious voice until I threw it against the wall. "I can't do this," I told Ryan, burying my face in my hands. He slammed his beer on the counter. "Yes, you can. You've got fight. You just need structure." "Money," I whispered. Ryan grinned. "I'll invest. Not much, but enough to keep you breathing." I stared at him. Why? Because I'd rather bet on you than a lottery ticket, he said. Lily tapped her pen against a stack of invoices. And I'll keep your books from burning. Hope flickered, faint but alive. Nights were the worst. I'd sit in silence, staring at the ceiling, replaying Emily's cold words. A man with a mansion, not a dreamer. Rage burned, twisting into. Fueled one night, Ryan walked in with takeout. Still awake? Always, I muttered. You look like hell, he said, handing me a box. I feel worse. Then channel it. Every scar, every doubt. Use it. I nodded, gripping the food but not eating. She thought I'd fade away. She thought I'd stay broken. Ryan smirked. So prove her wrong. I whispered into the night, almost two. Myself, she will see who I become. The next morning, I walked onto another site. The sun heavy, the smell of sawdust sharp. I looked at my crew of men I could barely afford to paint, forced a smile. This one won't fail, I told them. Ryan nudged me. That's the spirit. Third time's the charm. It wasn't perfect. Boards splintered, screws stripped, and clients sighed, but the project finished. A small paycheck landed in my hand, and for the first time, it didn't slip away. Lily waved the invoice with a grin. You made profit. Not much, but it's something. Something, I repeated, gripping the paper like gold. That night, I sat alone again, but the silence felt different. Not crushing, just waiting. I closed my eyes and saw Emily's smug face. I whispered into the dark, one day, you'll know what you lost. The vow didn't taste bitter anymore. It tasted like fire. Another deal gone, I muttered, slamming the phone on the counter. Ryan looked up from his beer. What happened this time? They pulled out. Said I was too small, too risky. He smirked. They're blind. Day they'll beg for. Your signature. I sighed, rubbing my temples. One day feels too far. Then make tomorrow the start, he said firmly. But tomorrow wasn't kind. The bank called, threatening foreclosure. Mr. Harris, the voice droned. Payments are overdue. We can't extend forever. I just need time, I pleaded. Time is money, he replied coldly. When I hung up, Lily was already waiting. With papers, you're in deep, she said softly. I know, I whispered. You can quit, walk away before you drown. Can't, I said, shaking my head. If I quit now, I'll never forgive myself. She studied me for a moment, then nodded. Then let's fight smarter. The fight wasn't clean. Shady partners stole deposits. Subcontractors cut corners. Clients whispered about lawsuits. One evening, as good as after chasing a partner who vanished with my money, I collapsed in the office. Ryan poured whiskey into a plastic cup. You look dead, he said. I feel worse. You're still standing. Counts, I'm standing on ashes, I muttered. Then build from ashes, that's what phoenixes do. I laughed bitterly. No phoenix. He clinked his cup against mine. You will be. Slowly jobs came. First a garage expansion, then a 2-bedroom house. Sweat stung my eyes, blisters tore my hands, but each project stayed standing at night. Lily spread receipts across the table. See this? She said. Profit? Not much, but real. Ryan leaned back, grinning. Told you. I stared at the numbers, something unfamiliar rising in my chest. Hope. Years blurred into concrete, steel, and risk. My shirt soaked in sweat. My voice cracked from barking orders. But every failure carved strength. Then came the first neighborhood contract. Ryan slapped the blueprints on the hood of my truck. Houses, entire streets. You did this. I swallowed hard. We did this. Construction boomed. Crews doubled. Line job sites. My name spread from whispers to headlines in local business journals. At a diner one evening, a stranger pointed at me. You Harris, the builder? I blinked. Yeah. Your company's turning this town around, he said, shaking my hand. I walked out stunned, my chest burning with something I hadn't felt in years. Pride. But success wasn't smooth. A supplier shorted materials. Another storm wrecked. A half-built roof. Clients screamed. Banks circled. Ryan grinned as I slammed my hard hat into the mud. You done crying, or should I get tissues? Shut up, I muttered. Good, because whining won't raise walls. You will. So I raised walls. One by one, brick by brick, until neighborhoods rose under my name. Lily handed me contracts late one night. You're not small anymore. These people banks, developers, they need you. I stared at the papers, hardly believing. Me, the kid who couldn't even keep a deck standing. She smiled softly. That kid grew. Ryan chuckled. And he's still stubborn as hell. Money flowed slow at first, then steady, then heavy. My debts cleared. My crew expanded. My phone rang with opportunities instead of threats. But at night, when silence pressed close, I still saw Emily's face, her smirk, her words. One evening, standing in my office, I unfolded the blueprint of a mansion. Not a house, not a block in a state. Ryan peeked over my shoulder. Big dreams, huh? Not dreams, I whispered. Plans. He smirked. For her, I shook my head. Fire steady in my chest.
Oh, for me?
The paper trembled slightly in my hands, not from fear, but from the weight of the vow I carried. Traced the lines of the mansion with my finger, whispering to the silence. This is mine, built with my scars, my rage, my hope. Ryan clapped my shoulder. Then let's build it. And for the first time, the dream didn't feel like ashes. It felt like fire turning into stone. The gala hall glittered with chandeliers, voices blending with clinking glasses. I stood near the entrance, shaking hands, smiling politely, but inside I felt detached. Ryan nudged me. You're the man of the hour. Try to look like you're enjoying it. Might build walls. Not this circus, I muttered. Too late. The name on every guest's lips. As I turned, my chest tightened. Emily stood across the room. Same eyes, same posture, but dulled, like the shine had drained from her. She froze when our gazes met, then forced a smile and walked toward me. Michael, she said softly. I nodded. Emily. Her eyes darted to the hall. You've changed, so I've heard. My voice came out flat. You own this company now? These projects? Yes. She laughed nervously. You always dreamed big. I guess I underestimated you. You did more than that, I replied. Her smile flickered. I didn't come to fight. I just wanted to say hello. Ryan appeared with drinks, his eyes narrowing. Hello, said. Goodbye next. Ryan, I warned. He smirked, but walked off. Emily shifted uncomfortably. Your friend still hates me. He was never wrong about you, I said quietly. Her eyes softened, but I kept my expression hard. She reached out, brushing the stem of her glass nervously. Daniel and I. She hesitated. Things didn't work out. I raised an eyebrow. Didn't work out? Or collapsed? Her voice dropped. Collapsed. He wasn't who I thought he was. I swallowed, my pulse quickening. People rarely are. I didn't know where to go tonight. But when I heard about your gala, you thought you'd find me? I finished. She nodded slowly. Yes. I let silence stretch, forcing her to fill it. I made mistakes, she whispered. We all do. Her eyes glistened, but I felt no urge to comfort her. Across the hall, Lily waved at me, mouthing, You okay? I nodded. Emily noticed. Your sister still cares for you, she said. She always did, I replied, even when others didn't. Cheeks flushed. I never stopped caring. I leaned closer, my voice cold. You cared until the money ran out. Until Daniel's mansion pulled you in. Don't rewrite history now, she winced. I was young, scared. I thought security mattered. More than love. And what do you think now? Her lips trembled. I think I lost the only man who ever truly loved me. The words stabbed, but I forced myself steady. That man is gone. He died the day you walked out. She blinked fast, holding back. Tears. Do you hate me? No, I said firmly. I don't hate you. I'm indifferent. That's worse. Her face crumpled. Michael, please, a voice interrupted, calling my name. A developer approached. clapping me on the shoulder. Your speech is next. I turned back to Emily. Enjoy the evening. It's all I can offer you. She bit her lip, then stepped back. You've changed more than I imagined. That was the point, I said, walking away. Later, near the balcony, I overheard her speaking to a guest. Her voice was low, brittle. Daniel left me with nothing. Debt, lies. I thought I'd found my future, but I lost everything. The guest murmured sympathy, but Emily's words rang in my head. Nothing. She had chosen wealth and ended in ruins. My chest tightened with old memories, her laughter. Her warmth, but I crushed them down. Sympathy was poison. Ryan joined me. You overheard, yes? And I sipped my drink, staring at the skyline. She wanted a man with a mansion. And now, I looked at the lights glowing across the city, at the projects my crews had built. Now, I am the man who builds them. My phone buzzed again. Her name lit up the screen. I let it ring until Ryan leaned over my desk, still ignoring her. He asked. Yes, I said flatly. He smirked. Good. Ghosts should stay dead. But later that night, another message appeared. Michael, please. Just one conversation. The next morning, she was outside my office. Emily, standing in the lobby like she belonged there. My staff whispered. She caught my eyes and forced a shaky smile. Michael, can we talk? I folded my arms. This isn't the place. Then name one, she pleaded. I sighed, motioning her into my office. Ryan lingered, glaring, but I waved him off. Once inside, she perched on the chair, hands trembling. No, I've made mistakes. Stop rehearsing lines, I said. Why are you here? Her eyes welled up. 'Cause Daniel destroyed me. He took everything, money, dignity, even my peace. And all I could think of was you. I clenched my jaw. Convenient. You only remembered me when your mansion crumbled. Her face flushed. It wasn't like that. I thought I wanted security. But what I had with you, it was real. I laughed bitterly. Real love doesn't come with conditions. She leaned forward. You were the one who got away. I see that now. You're everything I wanted but was too blind to value. For a second, old memories flickered her laughter in my arms. The nights we whispered about the future. I looked away. Michael, she whispered, do you hate me? No, I said slowly. I don't hate you, but I don't love you either. Her smile faltered, a crack splitting through her charm. You don't mean that. I can see it, you still care. Care? Snapped. Do you remember the nights I worked 2 jobs while you mocked me for not being enough? Do you remember leaving me humiliated, broken, while you walked into Daniel's arms? Her lips trembled. I was young, stupid. I let greed blind me. Greed doesn't blind it. Reveals, I shot back. She flinched, then forced a fragile smile. But look at us now. We can start over. I can help you. You're powerful, Michael, and together. I cut her off. You don't love me. You love the power I earned without you. Her face stiffened, but she tried again. That's not true. I missed you every day. Stop lying, I said coldly. If Daniel still had his fortune, you wouldn't be here. Silence fell. Her eyes darted to the floor. The door opened and Lily stepped in. She froze when she saw Emily. You've got to be kidding me. Emily straightened. Lily, I'm not here to fight. Shouldn't be here at all, Lily snapped. Broke my brother, left him crawling through ashes, and now you show up because he's risen from them?
Ow.
Emily started, but Lily stepped closer. Do you remember the nights he cried alone?
Ow.
The way he tore himself apart trying to be enough for you? You don't get to rewrite history just because you're desperate. Emily's voice cracked. I know I hurt him. But people change. No, Lily said firmly. People reveal who they are. You revealed it. I looked at Lily, then at Emily. The decision settled in my chest like stone. Emily, I said you were my world once, but you threw it away. I don't owe you another chance. Her eyes filled with tears. So that's it? You won't even try? I stood, pointing to the door. This chapter ended years ago. It won't reopen. It... She rose slowly, her mask slipping, her smile breaking into shards. You'll regret this, she whispered. No, I said firmly. I already regretted you once. Never again. Lily touched my shoulder as Emily stormed out. The office door shut hard behind her. You okay? Lily asked softly. I exhaled. Yes, because I finally see clearly. She doesn't love me. She loves what I built, and I will never hand it to her. The mansion stood before me like a crown jewel, glass gleaming under the evening lights, every brick screaming the proof of battles I had fought and won. People clapped as the ribbon was cut, but my heart thudded louder than the applause. Sir, could we get a statement? A reporter called, shoving a mic near my face. I smiled politely. Dreams aren't built overnight. They're built brick by brick. Tonight isn't about myths, about showing what persistence can create. The cameras flashed, and then I saw her. Emily? Her hair was shorter, her makeup smudged by the rain, but her eyes, those same pleading eyes, were locked on me. She pushed through the crowd, ignoring the murmurs, until she stood directly in front of me. Please, she whispered, her voice cracking. I need to talk to you. I kept my posture straight, forcing my hands to remain at my sides. This isn't the time. It's the only time I have left, she said louder, trembling. Daniel ruined me. Everything fell apart. I should never have left you. The crowd went silent. Phones rose like a sea of glowing eyes, recording every desperate word. Emily, I said calmly, step aside. No. She grabbed my arm, clinging tightly. Don't push me away. I was wrong. I see it now. You are always the one. Please, let me inside. Let me start over. I inhaled slowly, feeling every stare on me. My past had just walked into. My present, begging for a future that no longer belonged to her. You left, I said evenly. Not when I failed. Not when I struggled, when I dreamed. You mocked me, remember? Tears streaked down her face. I was stupid. I was scared. But look at us now. We can fix this. I shook my head. No, Emily. Look at me. I built this without you. Every sleepless night, every broken deal, every drop of sweat, I carried it alone. She pressed closer. Then let me help you carry it now. Please. I can be different. The reporters leaned in, hungry for my answer. My voice hardened. You left me because I didn't have this. I gestured to the towering mansion behind me. Now I do. But you'll never step inside. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Cameras clicked furiously. Psst. Emily's grip slipped from my arm, as if my words had burned her. You don't mean that, she whispered, her lips trembling. I mean every word, I replied. This mansion is my triumph, and you will never stand in its shadow as if you had a hand in it. Now, not ever. Her face crumbled, her shoulders collapsing under the weight of the truth. She staggered back, eyes darting between me and the flashing cameras, so searching for an escape. You've changed? She muttered bitterly. No, I said, my chest tightening with finality. I became the man you said I'd never be. Security stepped forward gently, guiding her away from the steps. She didn't fight. She only stared at the doors of the mansion, as if they were gates to a kingdom forever closed to her. Ryan leaned close, whispering in my ear. That was brutal, but necessary. Truth usually is, I murmured. The ribbon dangled, the ceremony paused, but I straightened and faced the crowd again. This house isn't just walls and glass, I told them. It's a reminder too. Never let someone else decide your worth. Applause erupted, but behind the noise I could still hear the faint echo of Emily's sobs fading into the night. And though she was gone from the steps, the truth lingered sharp in the air. The woman who once mocked my dreams now stood outside the dream I built. The headlines hit faster than I expected. Emily Harper declares bankruptcy. Socialite abandoned by friends after husband's collapse. Once the queen, now the pawn. Ryan slid the paper across my desk with a smirk. She's finished. I skimmed the lines, my jaw tightening. Daniel left her with nothing. Correction, Ryan said, leaning back. He left her with debts. Big ones. Lily entered, holding her phone. She's been calling. 5 times today. I looked at her. You answered. She shook her head. Didn't need to. She left a voicemail. Want to hear it? No. My voice was sharper than I intended. I softened it. Delete it. Lily tilted her head. You don't even want to know what she said? I stared out the window at the city lights, each one glowing like a reminder of nights I had worked when no one believed in me. I already know. Regrets. Excuses. Promises. The same chorus. Ryan crossed his arms. So you're not tempted? Not even a little? For a moment, silence stretched. I felt the flicker of pity on echo of the man I used to be. Then I shook it off. Tempted. To answer? No. Tempted to forgive. Never. Lily sat across from me. It's okay to feel sorry for her. Just don't confuse pity with weakness. I don't, I said firmly. But pity doesn't mean she gets a way back in. Ryan chuckled. Karma's got better aim than I thought. I leaned back, exhaling. She traded me for a mansion, and now she has none. The irony burned, but it also freed me. Weeks later, the papers were signed, the deal complete. I stood before a massive set of oak doors as the realtor handed me the keys. Congratulations, she said brightly. You're the official owner. The lock clicked, and I stepped into my mansion. Not a trophy, not a stage for revenge, but a home. Ryan whistled. You outdid yourself. Lily spun slowly in the marble foyer, her eyes wide. It's beautiful. I smiled faintly. Isn't about proving anything. This is for me. Ryan grinned. And maybe for a few legendary parties. I laughed. We wandered room to room, the grand staircase, the library, the balcony overlooking the city. Each space echoed with possibility, but none with emptiness. This time the walls felt alive, filled not with what I'd lost, but with what I'd built. Lily touched the frame of a window, her voice soft. Do you remember the nights you thought this would never happen? Every one of them, I said quietly. Ryan clapped my shoulder. And now look. Not just contracts, not just blueprints. You earned it. We toasted that night in the dining hall, champagne glasses clinking under the chandelier's glow. Laughter filled the air, not hollow, not forced real. Ryan raised his glass. To survival, Lily added. To rebirth, lifted mine last. To peace. Later, when the house had quieted, I stood alone on the balcony. The city stretched endlessly, a sea of light pulsing against the dark horizon. My phone buzzed again. Oh. Emily's name lit up the screen. For a second, I just watched it glow, the way her presence had once consumed me. Then I pressed decline. Number T. Hesitation. I'm solving 7. So sin 7. Sin I'm sen we're sin all and sin and songs on our sausage sin spread on way to sen and son is suing sin senses when so. For the first time in years, my chest felt light, unburdened. Ryan's words echoed Karma's aim. He was right. She had chosen a path, and that path had led her here. Alone, drowning in me. I had chosen mine. It had led me here. Whole at peace, I leaned on the balcony rail, watching the skyline shimmer. My voice slipped out in a whisper, meant only for myself. Karma has done its work. And for the first time, I truly believed it. Ryan poured us each a drink in my study, the fire crackling low behind him. "So," he said, handing me a glass. "Does it feel real yet?" I swirled the amber liquid, watching the light catch. "It feels earned." He raised his brow. "Not revenge?" I shook my head. For a long time, that's all I wanted. To prove her wrong, to shove my success in her face. But sitting here now, hunger's gone. Lily entered quietly, carrying a small stack of papers. "I was going over the company's annual report. Do you realize what you've built?" I smiled faintly. "I know the numbers. But it isn't the money that matters anymore." Ryan smirked. "It says the guy sitting in a mansion." I chuckled. "Brick and stone don't define me. They're reminders of what I endured. What matters are the people who stayed." Lily sat. "Beside me? You mean us?" I nodded. "You, Ryan, everyone who believed when I didn't. That's the real foundation." Ryan leaned forward. "What about Emily?" Her name hung in the room like smoke. I exhaled slowly. Emily was the wound. Deep, ugly, almost fatal. But she was also the fire. Without her betrayal, I wouldn't have burned away the weakness in me. Lily's voice softened. "She came again today. She was outside the gate asking to talk." My jaw tightened. "And you told her that you weren't home?" Lily said gently. Ryan muttered, "She's desperate. She sees what you've become and wants a piece." I stared into the flames. "She doesn't see me. She sees what I own." "There's a difference." Lily touched my arm. "Do you ever miss her?" The question stung, but I answered honestly. "I miss who I thought she was, but that person never existed." Ryan raised his glass. "Good, because the man you are now doesn't need her." Lifted mine. "Two, the man I am now doesn't even remember needing her." We clinked glasses, the sound sharp, final. Later that night, I walked alone through the halls. Each step echoed with memories, not of her, but of me. The boy who doubted, the man who fell, the fighter who rose. I whispered into the quiet, "You broke me, Emily. And in breaking me, you made me." Out on the balcony, the city stretched wide and endless. Somewhere in that darkness, she was wandering, still chasing what slipped through her hands. Once, she had been my universe. Now, she was just another star, fading from sight. Ryan's laughter drifted from the other room. Lily's voice followed, light and steady. That was my world now, voices that stayed, loyalty that never wavered. I thought of the mansion around me, its walls strong, its lights warm. But then I realized something deeper. "My true mansion," I murmured, "isn't these walls?" Resilience. It's loyalty. It's self-worth. The fire in my chest wasn't anger anymore. It was peace. I closed my eyes, breathing in the night air. And for the first time in years, I felt whole. The chapter of Emily was closed. And the man I became, he was just beginning.